How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Down the Rabbit Hole. The entire crew is here, and today we're going to talk about Kaiju number 8. This is probably the most popular anime of the season, and we are going to figure out if it has lived up to expectations. We're going to start with Brad, though, because we would have recorded a day earlier, but Brad was tired from the beach. He looks tanned, right?
I was.
And I want to know if this I don't know if this was one you'd like, but tell me about it, Brad. How far did you get?
Oh, I mean, I finished it.
You
Yeah, it
finished the
was,
9 episodes.
yeah. So wait, was there 9 episodes?
Yes, I
No,
think it was 8.
Okay,
I think it was 8.
okay, maybe. Okay, so I ended
Oh, it's 7.
when he, yeah, I was gonna say, so I ended when he met the vice captain
Yes.
as the kaiju. Okay, that's where I ended. All right.
Okay, yeah, I think we're all there
Um,
then.
Yeah. Okay, cool. You kind of panicked me because I was excited and I was really mad that it ended right there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was
It was,
mad too.
it was really good. You know, I had some gripes at the beginning, and it was mostly just logical things. I'm like, why don't they just do this instead of this or whatever? But I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. You know, I feel like there's a trend. You know, weak guy gets strong by doing by like something that happens, and he gets stronger than everyone else. You know, as like every other anime seems to happen always. But
Power scaling in shonen, that's kind of normal, you know.
yeah, I do. I was hoping to see a bit more of his kaiju form
Yeah.
early on because it like in 7 episodes you really see it like 3 times,
Mhm.
and at the beginning when he gets his kaiju form, they do like a 3 month jump, and I would have really liked to. I think they kind of missed an opportunity of like trial and error trying to figure out like what he is capable of doing.
They pulled like a
Um,
Cyberpunk 2077 where you just get like a whole
exactly.
year skipped and you're just like, what happened?
Well,
Like, how did we get to
at
this
least they had a
point?
montage. At least
Yeah,
they had a
that,
montage.
yeah.
uh, but I mean, other than that, I mean, it's great animation. You know, great characters.
I'm glad you.
There is a bad scene, but it's all guys,
Yeah.
which is
It's
which
all
is a good, you
dudes,
know, it's a good
bro.
flip. It's a good flip.
Oh.
But
I'm
yeah,
glad, you know,
I enjoyed it.
I'm glad you liked it. Aren't you happy we waited for you?
No,
You ungrateful piece of shit.
I do.
He
I
said
think I was
no.
just super dehydrated. I had a massive headache the rest of
Mm.
the day.
Every time you go outside, you look like you usually hurt yourself or something.
We went snorkeling actually yesterday. That was fun.
Ah,
Ooh, that is fun.
Nice.
Chibi, start with you.
That's me.
How do you feel about Kaiju no? What was your expectations going in? You read the manga, right?
I read it after I started watching the first couple episodes. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I had no expectations as always when going in because I like to be blind. Um, First like episode, just I was like, is this like Pacific Rim? You know what I mean? So that's kind of like what I equated it to. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I really, really like it. It's my type of show that's funny, but like not like over the top where you're like, oh my god, there's like a joke every 2 lines, you know?
Right.
But
Right.
I think Kafka is a great protagonist and a very likable one at that. So it's really interesting and fun to watch him. And I think the whole idea of him, you know, eating a kaiju and becoming a kaiju was really fucking funny too. Honestly, that whole scene was great. And then when he escaped from the what was it? The
Hospital?
hospital?
Yeah.
And then he was like, "I gotta pee," and then it just came out.
Came out of his nipples and stuff. Yeah. Oh
Oh
my
man, that's
god.
why I knew this show was for me. I said, "Wow, this show is for me, man. This is my humor right here." But yeah, honestly, thoroughly excited and happy. I thought it was just gonna be one of another shonen where it just was really serious. I mean, it can be, but I like the comedic humor to it as well.
I literally thought when you said show you, I thought you were gonna follow up with Jack. I mean, it's a show that Jack would like.
Wow.
Jack,
Yeah.
this was a show. I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, Jack would love this show. Chibi said the same thing. So, what were your expectations going in? Because we're trying to I'm trying to find things that everyone likes. Usually, but what'd you think so far?
uh, I loved it. It's so far, and I'm like Brad was saying, I was angry that we didn't have more episodes. So now I gotta wait till Saturday. But
Hmm.
it had a nice mix of action, humor, and wholesomeness. I really enjoy Kafka's friendship with Ichikawa.
Yep.
Oh my god, I love
And how
them.
Ichikawa is kind of like his protector right now.
Mhm.
Um, but it has a nice balance to everything, and I really enjoyed every bit of it.
Yeah. I think for Chibi, when you said it wasn't tonally all over the place, that kind of matters in a lot of these types of shows because sometimes
Mhm.
it's you're either Mashal, right, which really
Mhm.
kind of nails that balance of like action and humor, or you're a Gamaka Kill, which was like totally all over the fucking place and made
Yeah.
a mess of things when things started getting serious. I think
Mhm.
like Kafka's great. I think they set things up well. I love the fact that we have it did feel like Pacific Rim. I love kaiju stuff. I love Godzilla,
Mhm.
so I was really excited. I love the fact that he's not some young 16, 17-year-old. He's not in
Mhm.
his 20s. He's a 30-year-old. He's pretty much at the end
Yeah.
of his rope.
32.
Yeah.
Right, still trying to figure out himself and having one last shot at his dream, which I thought was pretty
Mhm.
fantastic. And then um I did like the fact that when the kaiju, like whatever that was, just randomly found him. That adds to the mystery because one, who the fuck, what is that? Like it just
Mhm.
randomly showed up and it was like, found you.
And it's strong as hell
Yeah.
too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Immediately, like, yeah, I think he's the strongest kaiju, right? I think he's
Mhm.
like a 9.8 on their scale.
9.8.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think like overall, I like the fact that I agree with Brad too. Like I didn't like the fact that I was kind of hoping that they would do like a little him like testing the abilities out and stuff like that. Instead, we just get like,
Yeah.
him jumping into his
Just
trait.
becoming
Nice.
Yeah,
one.
just becoming like part of the fucking defense force. And I was like, damn it! I was like, we could have gotten like a lot of humorous stuff, especially with
Yeah.
him like testing his power out. Like when he first
Mhm.
showcases it and he punches that fucking kaiju and just destroys it. I was like,
Mhm.
holy shit! Like this guy's a monster. And
Literally.
I think though that my favorite character is probably Kaiju number 9. I love how arrogant and curious he is about everything. He's like, "What's going
Yeah.
on here? Like, you should not be this
Bro, fuck
powerful."
that guy.
He's
Fuck
like,
that
"You're,"
guy.
he's like, "You're kind of fucking weird." I like that. And I think right now because it's really rare that like an anime makes me read the manga. This one made me read the manga,
Mhm.
so I
Same.
finally got caught up. And yeah, holy shit! I did not know that this did not have. I think by the time the anime got announced, it wasn't even close to like 100 chapters.
No, it's not
So
a lot.
and
And they're really short too.
I don't, yeah, they are. They're like maybe 15 pages, and I don't know how long this season's going to be either,
Mhm.
because I know it's upcoming, and I'm really fucking excited to see what's going to happen because there's a
Yeah.
lot of
Gonna
really
leave us hanging.
lot.
Yeah.
That's
I
what's gonna happen.
Well, I'm hoping it's not 13. I think that if they do 13 episodes, I think that's fine, because then you can have like the first part and
I
then
think
the
it's
second part.
12.
Is it 12? Yeah.
It says 12.
Yeah, so if you do the first part, it'll leave you like on a cliffhanger, and then like you do like a second cower or whatever, and that'll be like maybe December or something like that, because that's what I feel like Demon Slayer is going to do too. But yeah,
Mhm.
I'm for a show that I knew nothing about. I think I asked Chibi, and you were like, "Oh, fucking Kobe really loves Kaiju number 8." And I was like,
Mhm.
"What the fuck is this?" And then I started reading about it. I was like, "This is really unique in a way that the
Mhm.
main character is a monster just trying to figure shit out." And he's really funny about stuff. But it was
Mhm.
interesting when he fought Kaiju number 9, and he immediately like decimated him after everyone else was
Yeah.
struggling to do anything, like punching straight through his armor. I was like, holy
Oh, it was
shit!
so satisfying. It was
Yeah.
so satisfying.
Who is everyone's favorite character? I'd say Kaiju number 9. Brad, who's yours?
I like the vice captain. He was like, that dude's funny. I need him on my team.
Yeah,
Oh, Sheena.
that guy's hilarious. It's like a comedy duo. We need
Yeah.
them, if anything.
Uh,
Holy shit!
but he also has like a decent side to him. He's like, that guy could be useful, and he's like, I think he could have a role, and he's got 3 months to prove it.
Well, I
So
mean,
he's getting
Kafka showed
paid
it
up.
right when he was
Yeah.
able to dissect the monsters in
Right.
the field and kind of show where their weaknesses were. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
he was really cool.
and also
Ishikawa.
when he attacked fucking Kafka, and I was like, holy shit, this dude's like super fast. Like, goddamn.
Yeah. Um, Ishikawa was really cool too. I really like. He's like he starts off really cocky, and then he's still kind of cocky, but he understands that he's now best friends with a kaiju. So
Yeah,
like he has like a role to play.
the humor between like with like their ages and stuff like that with the
Oh, yeah.
Reno and Kafka is really
Mm.
funny because Kafka's like young at heart and Reno is very mature. Stuff like that. He's like stressed out the entire time because Kafka has like no control. Like when
Mhm.
they gone back to that cleaning scene and like Kafka's like half turn, and he's like, "Hey, Reno." It's like,
Yeah.
dude, what the fuck are you doing?
That shit was so good.
I was kind of shocked that no one saw him. Right?
Yeah.
Like you'd have all these high rises. I'm assuming they evacuated them though. That's my guess.
And
But
that's probably what it is. Yeah,
Like-
because they're doing the cleanup.
Jack, who is your favorite character?
It's a toss up between Ichikawa and probably number 9.
Yeah. Here we go.
I do enjoy number 9's like
His curiosity, right?
He's dumbfounded by everything that happens.
Yeah. He's like human. He's like, you guys figured this out. He's like, which one of you guys?
It's like, this is how you use a phone.
Yeah.
I have
Which is
bad
weird. So
diarrhea.
he has the reverse effect that Kafka has, right? He's an actual like he's full kaiju,
So I
but
think
turns
that's
into a human.
I think that's one of the mysteries too. That
Yeah, we don't know for sure.
That's not even like explored because it's not deep into the manga yet either. Like
Right.
it's actually something that's really curious, like how they actually established it. You know, I'm always
Yeah,
curious
'cause-
about like how kaiju get pushed into certain worlds. Like Godzilla was, you know, due to like detonations, and then Godzilla Kong is like the Hollow Earth type shit. There's all this crazy things that are happening, and then
Yeah.
was it Pacific Rim was like the Jaegers, right? That little rift, the alien rift that showed up in the
Mhm.
ocean, that type of
Yeah.
stuff. I'm curious as to
The
how
reason
they
why-
explain this out.
Yeah, the reason why I think he has the reverse effect because when Kafka becomes a kaiju, he's still Kafka. He just has a large amount of strength, right? But then
Yeah.
number 9, when he's in human form, he's still
He's
kind of
weird.
clueless. He still doesn't understand what's going on. Like the phone part. It's like, is this how they answer a phone?
Yeah, no, I definitely think
Um,
he's for sure kaiju 1st.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like you said.
I wonder if
But,
it's alien. I mean, because everyone seems so casual about it, right? Like, man, is the Defense Force going to get here and take care of that? I'm like, dude,
I'm
are you?
Like, you guys are so ungrateful. I was like, what?
I was like,
Like,
don't
it's
they?
inconveniencing.
Don't
them.
they got
like,
the special
sorry.
squad here? Like, what's going on? Man, I don't
Right.
It's
understand.
been 5 minutes.
Yeah. Where's the big sniper lady at? Like, what the fuck? Get the railgun out so I can go back to work.
And
Jesus.
where's Mina, bro?
Yeah, where's me? Steve, who's your favorite?
See, this is one of the shows that I actually have a lot of favorites, which is
Mhm.
kind of funny. But
Oh.
if I have to be picky, I think probably Kafka, and I like Shinomiya.
Yeah.
The girl. I don't know. I like her cockiness. I like her arrogance, but I also like when I don't know. She just has like this rivalry with Kafka. It's really funny. And
I
it's like
think
she's like,
she's
what,
actually
like
one of the
16?
POV characters, if I remember. Like it's Kafka, her, and then Reno are the three POV characters. So, yeah, I like. Well, I mean, she has, you know, she's the daughter of like the
Mhm.
The
fucking
director.
yeah, the director.
I legit
Yeah.
thought they were just gonna kill her off there when she got shot through the chest. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
they just kill her. Okay, cool.
Well, I mean, that's
Bruh.
that's one of the good things about the show too. Is like it shows
Mhm.
like one of the things that I love
Yeah,
about
it's not Attack on Titan.
one of the things I love about recent shonen is they show characters in danger, right?
Mhm.
JJK, Demon Slayer, this. Like when characters actually like when there's like actual threats to these characters, like I'm more invested. And I like that here because when Shinomiya got hit, I was like, oh shit. Like she was like just cutting everyone down. And then the other guy's like, dude, I'm just tired, bro. What the fuck? Why is she so strong? Like what? And then she gets hit. I'm like, oh shit, she might die.
Oh, I mean, when Ichikawa got knocked down,
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
was getting sad.
god.
Like,
When he was like when he looked like
no, not
Swiss
him yet.
cheese, bro.
Dude, I was like, Kaiju number 9, let's do it. Like take him down. He has
Like,
silver
there's
hair.
no way
He's
to
another
kill him right
Gojo
now.
wannabe. Kill him.
Stop. So I was gonna also say I do like Ichikawa.
Yeah.
Love him.
He's another
It's like
Gojo
those three are
wannabe.
my holy trinity. My white hair man.
Take down these white-haired bastards.
Never.
I think it is interesting to like see how the public like handles all this stuff. I like the fact that the Defense Force is very cognizant of like trying to keep people safe, limiting collateral damage, even though they're pretty much weapons of destruction. Like every one of the like the higher Defense Force, like the vice captain, and then Ashino. I was like, holy shit, they are
They're
actually
insane.
super fucking powerful. And then Kafka, when he finally like when he hits something, I'm like, dude, it just dies, it explodes, which is also very Chainsaw Man-esque in terms of like
Well-
gore.
So in like 2 episodes, he goes from clueless alien to one punch kaiju. That was my
He's Saitama with hair
and scales.
and scales. I'm curious to see like if he gains any abilities, you know, because like right now
If he learns any.
he's mostly just a hand-to-hand guy,
Yeah.
but he's so overpowered. And I think it's also an interesting dynamic too that the smaller the kaiju, the bigger the threat. Right, human-sized the Hanju, the human-sized or the human-sized kaiju are like the most terrifying because they're on like a higher power scale. So I wonder what a larger kaiju, you know, would be considered like a major threat, you know, or how they even get there.
So when they were running from the hospital and
Yeah.
he did that weird transformation thing and he had like things coming out of his neck and there was like a big blob of whatever, I was like, so I think he's capable of transforming or
evolving.
I don't know. Yeah. I could see him.
Kafka evolves
pulling a
into
Godzilla.
what the fuck is that?
Who's that Kafka?
I have ascended, brother.
So at the beginning of the show, when the first kaiju shows up and the helicopters go in and start shooting rockets and they don't do anything, and then the soldiers came out and were like sliding down the sliding down the buildings and like wall running and stuff, and they pulled out the railgun and shot the kaiju and like blew them up. I was like, why don't they just have those railguns on the helicopters?
This man's
They're
trying to
shooting a bunch of rockets.
This man's trying to apply logic and shit here, dude. Chill, okay?
Just
it's a
put
show.
2 of those on the helicopters. I mean, I guess it's part of the
it's part of the suit, I think. Yeah.
Well, once again, the pilot of the helicopter could just be wearing the suit. I don't know if you have to have like manual or like you have to actually touch the weapon, but it's like you could just have like
this dude did this with Castlevania.
I don't know.
He did this with Castlevania. He like watches it and it's like, dude, what I would do in this situation, all right, pulls out a whiteboard, is that I would have mounted railguns.
Right.
Also in the training scenario, there's like 16 kaiju just running around, or Yoju or whatever.
Dude, the training scenario reminded me of My Hero Academia. Except darker.
I was like, why would you not have some type of like contingency plan in place? Like there was no one to back them up.
I honestly think the captains and their like individual strength is like having the vice captain there. Like I think that was like contingency because he could literally kill anything. Essentially, supposedly kill anything. Right? He's a threat when he hit that limit.
I mean, he crazy.
That's valid. However, they still had to like respond and like run, and they were late, and everything had already died when they got there. So it was like, I feel like in that scenario there was live, also trigger discipline for a lot of those people in that show. Like, pointing guns.
Are we just flagging everyone here, dude? Okay, everyone else is trying to enjoy the anime. Here's Brad the entire time. Military training is like, are you guys going to show any discipline here? Right, rifles down range. All right, I need you guys to stack on corners. Someone's got to peel around there.
It was just like once or twice they had their gun like this with a person standing right next to them. I'm like, please.
That was my main complaint. Like, have you guys ever gone back to like 90s films, dude? Being in the military, having worked the Marines, having deployed, having like done weapons training and shit like that, and like tactics of squads, like kicking down doors. I swear to God, if I watch a 90s film, I'm like, why is Steven Seagal holding the MP5 like this the entire time? I'm like, tuck that fucking elbow in when you're shooting. I think, once again, it's really interesting, Brad. Like, we're trying to enjoy an anime, no logic, and this dude's like, dude, why are these guys not fucking trained? Where's the discipline, bro? Like, are these guys? I'm like, because I've actually trained with the Japanese Defense Force, right? And I can assure you, Brad, that if it was realistic, the JD they're really good. Okay, like just point that out. They're really good, and they're we're great at shipboarding. They're great with trigger discipline, all that stuff. You don't have to worry your little head about it. I assume, right, that it's just for like fun, but you're gonna have a lot of nameless characters in these anime, right? Essentially, if you don't have like colored eyes, colored hair, right? Or like a or like shark teeth, you are dead. Like you are fucking done. That's essentially how that works.
There's several soldiers that have the
buzz cut.
Well, the ski mask with the full face mask.
Oh, the balaclava and stuff like that. Yeah.
I didn't want to pronounce that wrong. That's why I didn't say it. But it's let
me go find mine.
So they're not important. Got it. All right, cool.
I mean, that's basically how you got to see it, right? Like the thing with Shonen is that they always like to have like a really big cast, and you're gonna get side stories, right? You're gonna get your POV people, right? Reno, Kafka, Shinomiya, and you're like, okay, these three are gonna be very important. We're gonna have side characters to kind of flesh them out. mostly by relationship, right? I can't remember old boy's name, the dude with the pink hair and the shark teeth, right? He really like went from hating Reno to respecting him and to loving him
And they're
somehow.
like
I don't.
the best.
Yeah, now they're
Yeah.
besties in the span of an episode. I hate this man. He saved me. I love this man. Like, what's white hair anime character supremacy?
Power
Apparently,
of friendship, bro.
the power of the
Best
white hair.
defendal.
Looks like his name is Furuhashi.
It's something.
Haru
I will butcher that name.
Haru. Yeah.
I will butcher that name. Yeah, so I mean, like, that's genuinely how like I would say like the relationships and stuff go in these. If you see someone with who's just like standing in the background with like a just a random like helmet on, dude, they're dead. They're fodder. You're I just want one show. It's like, what was it in Gears of War? Was it Carmine, Brad? Where like they have like a helmet, but they seem like they're a main character, and then they die, and you're like, dude, why? Like, Carmine, no. If you have a name, you might have a good chance of surviving in the anime, unless. But if you're in JJK, you're gonna die. That just.
You know what though?
How
It'd be
it
an interesting show if they had a show that's just specifically focused on a
Dude,
side character.
I would love that. That would be. I mean, technically, Kafka would be a side character in most anime, right?
Oh yeah.
There's
true.
there's not enough anime with like people our age, Jack, like you, me.
I know.
And
I know.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
why I kind of enjoyed this.
And
most
Brad.
because
I mean, Brad,
of
you're
how
like
old.
you're like 32 or something like that. I don't remember. 31.
He's Kafka.
30? 32. Okay. 31. Okay.
31. 31 and a half. Okay.
But you
31
know what
and
I'm
a
saying? Like it's kind of nice to whenever you see it, like most of those characters are like the mentor, right?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like the comedy, the side comedy. You're like, yeah, that guy, he's gonna die. You know, he has like the emotional. He has the death flags all over the episode. It's like, or why are we going to his backstory? He like turns. He's like, you know, man, my wife left me, and then the bullet hits him in the head. You're like, no, that's actually how that happens.
Give meaning to his death.
Give meaning to his dude, I swear to God, because this anime had a bunch of death flags, dude. The moment like, oh boy, like Haru was like having that like flashback, and I was like, he's dead, right? He gets shot in the chest. He's like he's like going through his life story. He feels like he's not matching up to Reno. I'm like, well, he's gone. Like, clearly we want to get attached, but you know, instead Reno was like getting absolutely massacred. How he survived, I have no idea. I'm being honest. He got shot arm, leg, chest, back multiple times. Kaiju No was like, you're still moving, stop that. It just kept capping him. I was like, holy shit, dude. I'm gonna take you back and I'm gonna study you.
He was rearranging his organs so they wouldn't get hit.
He's a Nosuke from
You
Demon
just
Slayer,
can't see it.
essentially. He's so flexible. He was just rearranging his heart
right.
around and stuff like that, so he
Forgot
couldn't get
about
stabbed.
that. Oh my god.
I just think that it's interesting to to have like it because it's really unique that Kaiju number 8 does world building and character development like all at the same time, and it all works. Because a lot of times you have episodes that are dedicated to just like figuring out how the kaiju got there, but instead we're just like, it's following Kafka. We're gonna get like his POV on a bunch of stuff, but as we're doing it, it's like showing his job in the first episode, showing how the kaiju affect people, right? What happens when like they, we see like a humanoid kaiju, like we get to learn about what the actual relationship with the defense force, how the suits work, all that stuff is done like in the process of like as we're seeing it, right? And I think it's really well done about how all that kind of blends together, which is super surprising because, you have some anime where like the internal dialogue is just like off the fucking charts. And this is like, okay, I did think like it was kind of weird when like Reno was on the stretcher and he was like, no, vice captain. I'm like, what are you talking for, bro? You should be unconscious with all those wounds. Like you are literally on the like the edge of death here.
Cheese.
Yeah. You were literally on the edge of death here. You know what I mean? And then like even with Shinomi, like when she got shot in the heart, did she? No, near.
It was close.
Near,
It was close.
Yeah, it missed.
Dude, anime pisses me off so bad because they have wounds that literally you should not survive. That is like, I was like, do you guys know where your heart is? Like, I mean, they barely missed that bitch.
So,
You know what I mean?
with hers, he actually did hit her there, but
Yeah.
she focused her shield and it like stopped it from hitting her heart.
Which was very shocking.
And then it like broke her arms and like shot her like 6 more times.
Oh, dude.
Oh my god, when it broke her arm,
And
I
then
flinched
Swiss
so hard.
cheesed her and stuff like that. Well, that's
Yeah.
that's the other thing is like that's also surprising is how brutal this is. I mean, you could kind of make sense of that when they killed the first kaiju, which was like, I was like, oh shit, it's attacking the city, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, damn, that was fucking quick. Jesus Christ. You know what I want to see more of is the tiger. Like,
I
Yeah,
love
what
the
the tiger
tiger. I
can
What
need
the
a
do.
fuck?
story.
What the fuck? Now, if we get a
Does the
story,
tiger
about,
have a name?
I don't know,
Yes.
probably yeah. But if the tiger's there, it's probably gonna, we don't want a backstory on the tiger. It's gonna end up getting killed
Baco.
somehow. It's what?
Bakko. Baco
Baco? Okay.
or Bako. I don't know.
Someone somehow took an endangered white tiger and made it into the Defense Force mascot pet.
Mascot.
Something. Maybe he has a
Yeah.
limiter too, as it would be in like most anime. It's like somehow we attached a kaiju neck
Persona,
collar.
bro.
Yeah, he's a person. Pulls a mask out and shit.
Maybe you learn it's really a
Oh, Baco.
kaiju.
Oh, it's really a kaiju. That would be a great twist.
Dude, that'd be crazy.
I think
Just following Mina the whole time.
Yeah.
I think I Chibi, I think I know where it's gonna leave off at, because I will say the next
I have an idea.
The
have an
next
idea.
5 episodes are probably going to be really, really exciting,
Mhm.
because that arc was like fantastic, and it
It
does
was
get
really good.
and what's interesting is that it gets progressively darker, which I think is
Yeah.
one of the things I really like about this, is that there is humor, but you also learn that like Kaiju number 9, like he killed that person. That person actually, the individual that he took over, that host, he actually worked for that cleaning company. He was actually new. He killed them.
Spoiler.
Yeah, took the body, and then, I mean, you could see it. You could tell, like, that like there's no way that they wouldn't have information on this guy. Like, they actually hired. They wouldn't. These companies aren't going to just hire like random dudes off the street without backgrounds. Like, that's not for those type of jobs. And also, how much are you getting paid as a fucking
Because that's
cleaner?
some
Clean that
dirty
shit.
stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, if like, what are we talking? 6 figures, Brad? What are we thinking? Cleaning up kaiju. I was thinking like I'd be like Ron Perlman's
Yeah, I'd do
character.
it for 6 figures.
Shit.
Especially if you have like intestine duty.
I mean, so here's the thing, like, you're getting all these different resources, right? Teeth, all that shit. Like, dude, are you, am I taking, am I snatching the teeth, bro? Are we like fucking linking up and stealing and stuff? Because, I mean,
But there's a Kaiju black market.
dude, there has to be. It's kaiju, like Pacific Rim, dude. That was Ron Perlman. He had the kaiju black market. He's like, he's like, all this sells well. Teeth, tongue. I feel he said like something was like an aphrodisiac. He's like, this right here, important aphrodisiac. I was like, Jesus. I wonder how much that pays. It's got to pay well, right? If it doesn't, I would be shocked, because it's government contract, right? They said that like the government contacts them out. They could contracted multiple cleaners through the city. Yeah. I want to know more about how all this started, how all of it came about. Primarily because it's interesting to see how quickly they adapted and whether or not it affects anyone else globally. That would be interesting. Like,
Just Japan.
just just like Godzilla's like, oh, keep that shit over there, bro. No. Godzilla's here. Which one? Is it the one with Kong? Because that one's cool. If it's the one from -0, we're fucking screwed, dude. You are dead if that one shows up. Jack, what was your favorite episode?
I think it's 7 or 8. It's close. It's the last one that's released, because there's a lot of action in it. And you see more of number 9's curiosity, and you kind of see that whole part with Ichikawa when he goes down. You realize how attached you've become to his character.
Who's we?
Yeah, right. I did.
Everyone.
I was
I
attached to
did.
Kaiju number 9 survived, and I was like, we can't kill the villain now. We gotta keep it going.
Kill him! I was
We
like,
got-
end him.
We gotta get the
I was
villain
gonna be
to
sad
survive.
as fuck if Ichikawa died.
Oh, it would have been great motivation, right? And then the anime changes. Then Kafka slowly
Uh-huh.
becomes a villain, lets the monster take over him and stuff like that. He evolves into a super kaiju, right? And then Kaiju number 9 and him fight in the city. And they just destroy Japan. And
This
stuff
is
like
actually
that.
just the origin story for Godzilla.
Yeah,
That's really all it is.
Was that Godzilla? What the fuck? Mothra shows up right. I'm like, oh my god, they linked it together.
You never knew that Godzilla is actually a human. He just prefers not to be in human form.
Brad, what was your favorite episode, man?
No.
No, just the whole-
So actually the exam, like the exam portion was actually really cool, because even though you expect him to like be an absolute beast the entire time. He's still like a very average old guy doing these 20-year-old, you know, 20-year-old age limited test, right? So it's like he's still losing in every category, even though he has, unlimited potential. And the piggyback scene where he's like, when Ishikawa's carrying him and he's like running around, he's like, I'll shoot you drive. He's like, would you shut up, please?
We had a little buddy comedy.
And the dude's insanely fit for how old he is too, right? Minus the beer gut that comes out when he was flexing on him.
Are you saying people in their 30s can't be in shape, bro?
Bro, I was gonna say that's like my favorite part.
Brad looked offended for a second. He's like, "What do you mean, bro? Like we can't work
Like
out."
he said, like he said to the young dudes, he's like, "Wait till the metabolism catches up to you."
Which
Chibi.
it was
Go,
weird
go.
because when that Yoju shows up when they're cleaning, and he like goes into like Super Saiyan mode, and he's like avoiding attacks and beating them up, and it, escapes for a little while, and then he
Yeah.
obviously gets caught. But it's like I thought he was actually, well, it kind of led on that he was stronger than you were led to believe.
I mean,
but then
could that be like
compared to all of the
could that be like a combination of like him being part kaiju too? Like even in untransformed state, like I mean,
no. So this was before the
this was before. Oh, okay.
yeah. So he got like his leg broken, and
Oh, that's right. That's
Oh,
right. That's right.
yeah.
yeah.
In the
So,
first
like-
episode.
so, like,
First
yeah,
episode.
the very first
Yeah.
episode, what made him be put in the hospital, he was fighting that Yoju or whatever, and it was like he looked capable then, right? Like he was like fighting him off with like a sign, and told Ishikawa to run away, right? And then he ran and escaped and jumped through the building, right? And it's like I was like, wow, he actually looks like a capable character. But then you put him against all of the other elite candidates, and
Yeah.
he's like way below average.
Was it like 0.1% or something like that? They're like, damn.
Oh yeah,
No, it
not even
started
the
with
1%.
zero.
Yes, I heard zero.
Yeah,
They're
it
like,
started with 0.
that's why we got to bring him on for the comedy effect, right? We need a buddy comedy
And
duo
then keep
because
him
of
around.
Chibi. What's your favorite episode?
So I more so have like favorite moments, but I did enjoy episode 7, and I think episode 8 might be one of my favorites coming up, just because I read the manga, I kind of know what's gonna happen a little bit, so I'm excited to see more.
Mhm.
But I think other than episode 7, I enjoyed like just the moments, like with the bath scene when he's like trying to suck in his gut, and then
Yeah.
he's like flexing, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
and I don't know, that shit had me dead. It was just so funny. And then I mentioned it earlier in the first part of our podcast, like when he's like running away from the hospital or whatever, and he's like, I really have to pee. And Ishikawa's like, hold it in, don't pee on the street. He's like, I don't know what's happening to me. And then he just like pisses out. Was his armpits or his nipples?
It was his nipples.
It's around his
Yeah,
nipples.
yeah.
It was his nipples. So
He
it was
goes,
just
no
stupid.
one's gonna want
No one's
to
gonna
be
want me
right
for
now."
marriage. Yeah.
So it was just
That's
stupid stuff
that's
like
a great
that.
that's a great like fucking role reversal too, because that
Yeah.
gets said so much in goddamn anime where like any female character gets like
Mhm.
picked up wrong or touched, there's like who's gonna want me now?
Yeah, so I mean, it was things like that I really appreciated, but I'm enjoying the beginning of the fight scene with him and the vice captain. So again, I'm ready
Yeah.
to see how that's going to play out, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah. I think episode 6 for me, especially when you get to see Ashino use like the cannon on the kaiju. And then she hits, it was like 4 times. I think it was like 4 shots,
Yeah,
right?
4 or 5, yeah.
That shit was amazing. I was like, oh my
Mhm.
God.
And they're like, it's down, Captain. Clear me.
Clear me again. I was like, all right, fire. And I was like, Brad, so like if you wanted to attach those railguns onto like any type of like, fucking pelican or whatever, you're gonna have to have her sitting there powering it, and you're gonna have to hit what 90%, which could just which maybe like they don't know how to like differentiate like the fucking the power to the helos and shit like that, or the birds to the gun, and it ends up destroying the birds. Like maybe they tried that before. Like maybe we can do this. I just thought that was like one of the coolest scenes because we finally got to see like because her primary means of killing is like from distance. And then we get to see like they have specialized weapons. And even with the vice captain, what's interesting about him is that his entire lineage is kaiju hunters. So
Yeah.
the thing about that is when he said that, I was like, oh, so kaijus have existed for a long time. So I'm assuming this is like historically, we've probably like they've just been dealing with them. And I kind of wonder like, how the fuck did your ancestors take down kaiju with spears and swords? Just like let me know like how the
Yeah,
fuck
without
that.
that technology.
Yeah, without that technology, are we like just shooting with cannons and stuff like that? I've always found it interesting because like every anime that or any show that's like futuristic, it's primarily because like there's like this world-ending threat, and then we just all came together, create this new technology, and that's how the world has lived. I mean, do we need kaiju's to like show up for us to get like new shit? I mean, I'm just like, have you watched? Has anyone watched like any of the new Godzilla movies, like Godzilla
Have
Kong and that
not.
type of stuff?
No.
Like essentially, like once like the second
One's like a
film.
Robo
Yeah, once the
uh
with Mecha
Godzilla.
Godzilla. So like once the
Mecha
second
Godzilla.
film
Yeah.
showed up, like they had like technology. Once they knew like the kaiju were there, they pretty much like started like rapidly advancing technology. Same thing with Pacific Rim, right? Like they had built Jaegers in like 2 years, maybe less than that. Like from I was like, holy shit. Like maybe we deserve to get like attacked and just kind of test out, see where the waters are instead of just dropping nukes. Let's just build huge mechs and just fight with them and shit. I think I think it's also cool that the suits. This is my favorite part of the show is like the suits are like they're kaiju. They have kaiju
Oh yeah,
material in it, and that's how they like enhance themselves. So if like
I,
20%, I think is didn't they say what was the average?
it's like the cap. Yeah, people give up or stop around 20-30%.
Which like if you think about it, if you're getting like a fifth of that power, that's pretty
still hot.
fucking insane,
Yeah.
right? I'm assuming it helps with recovery. It obviously helps with strength and speed and stuff like that, and endurance. I wonder what the actual trade-off is though. I mean, I think they said like the stamina was going low for the rookies and stuff. Like how long can a person last with that suit activated? Especially if like the vice captain can hit 92%. And then he can break that limit as well. So like that's like the limit they want to give him so that he doesn't potentially harm himself. What happens if he goes past it? Are we seeing like him crippling himself potentially? But
Yeah,
Shinomi
I'm assuming it can take a toll on people's bodies.
has
at some
to,
point.
right? I mean, Shinomiya, like it also depends like the recovery method because Shinomiya, she was like sitting in that pod and getting the best treatment possible, and it didn't look like she had like any real injuries. And obviously, what the anime does and the manga does is too is that they kind of cut off recovery times. They're just like, all right, we don't need to see that shit. Just know that it's magic juice. Someone took a sensu bean, now they're back up, and here we fucking go. Because Kafka broke his ankle, that was pretty brutal. And then she broke her arm, like at least she had a compound fracture. That shit was brutal. Like that looks snapped. Yeah. So I'm kind of surprised they saved it.
Tail's what it looked like.
Yeah, it did look like Pikachu's tail.
Yeah.
That's what we call an oh shit moment in medical. Like we got to cut that fucking arm off because there's probably compartment syndrome. I'm curious as to like if they go into more detail. I don't know if they do in the manga. I wasn't paying too much attention because the fights were really awesome, and then getting to see more of Kaiju number 9 and how they adapt to each other. Like watching Kafka like as Kaiju number 8 is really interesting, and you will get to see more of him. But it's in terms of like power, I don't think like the Defense Force is clearly like super concerned because 9.8 is something they've never seen before, especially at his size. Like imagine seeing something that is like the size of a fucking building or a skyscraper. You understand that like maybe you might have the ability to kind of take it down like from like the legs because it's not going to be as fast. But then you see a human, and if you remember when he punched the ground, he was immediately in the air. That was terrifying if you think about it, like the speed of that. And then when he also hit Kaiju number 9 as hard as possible, like we pretty much like stabilized himself, and it looked like he anchored himself to the ground, and then like it was like a jet fucking, it was like a rocket punch. And as he hit him, and he flew like I don't care what anyone said. That looked like he flew a couple miles, right?
Yeah.
He flew a couple miles, and then so like if you watch that when after 9 landed, like Kafka was already there. So I don't give a fuck what percentage you're at as like a human. There's no way you're stopping him, like realistically. Especially if like recovery is like super fast too. Could you imagine like getting your hand cut off and then growing it back? You're like, oh shit.
Well, I mean, if you like kind of compare it to like, I guess at the moment, like I never can fucking say her name, Shinomiya.
Mhm.
Homegirl's sitting at a pretty like 50 something percent, right? Or how much?
52, I think they said that she was
52.
at,
I
right?
mean, and she just immediately got her ass handled, you know? So, I mean, obviously you have the vice captain and the captain who have like in the 90s. But like, it's like you said, I don't even think you'd have a shot.
Yeah.
Like, they put up a fight, but you didn't even got a shot. And I guess we'll see it, you know, as we get episode like 8 and 9, like how their fight's going to go through.
Because
But,
I
you know,
assume like you can only, you know, I mean, it would be an endurance test, but you would run out of steam
mhm,
really quickly trying to fight them.
mhm.
Like if you don't kill them immediately, if
Yeah.
you're not some like Deus Ex Machina, like, you know, type of speed, like fucking the vice captain is, I don't think it matters because, you know, what if your blades don't cut him? What if he can
Mhm.
regenerate? What if you don't kill the core? Like that's the shit.
Yeah,
Like
and you have to figure it out all the stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, because like one of the concerns that they were having, I think in the first part of the fight, when they were trying to take down the Hanju, was like, where's the weak spot at? We haven't
Mhm.
identified it yet until Kafka did something. Which, by the way, was that weird? Oh shit, I'm gonna do the Brad thing. Brad, was that weird that they did not fucking like try to locate a weak spot once they killed a couple of them? Like I would have been like, let's dissect the body. Like, should we have like a medical team or a research team out there as well?
once so in and so my complaints with like the helicopters and like dropping soldiers in, like I really feel like they're not. I, I feel like they're just taking everyone and saying run forward.
Yeah.
And it's
Like,
like it's
go
just a
fight.
weird strategy.
It's
when
the
they have these,
Russians at Stalingrad. One man gets a rifle, the other man
Like-
gets bullets. Once the
like,
man with the
what-
rifle goes down, you get the rifle.
like why is there even helicopters shooting rockets? Like they shoot hundreds and they know it's not going to do anything. Maybe it was just like to move it or whatever. It seemed like they were just trying to shove
it
it
from
into
moving,
action.
yeah.
But
This
it was
is-
just like
This
it's
is
like,
Brad
why
in
is
his
the
chair. He's like,
helicopter
we're
gonna
just wasted resources.
yeah, like and once again it was like it took one person like an episode and a half to climb into one of them, just start cutting. I don't know.
It took
I
the
felt like
one
it was-
person who was a cleaner, right? He was thinking outside the box. He's
Yeah.
like, I can help him, who just happened to be the main character. Logic, I get it, right? You know, the guy has to find a way to make himself useful because it would be suspicious that someone with 0.1% just so happens to be, you know, the smartest guy or the strongest guy in the battlefield, that type of stuff. I do like that was one of the things I was kind of curious about. Like, so you guys are going into these fights without properly analyzing, you know, any of them. We're just kind of like, we have a front, we're just shooting at them. So once we realize the front is like, you know, it's almost impenetrable.
Well, protect.
Yeah, are you
Yeah.
gonna shoot him in the back, or are you bringing in new weapons? Do we have spears? We can poke 'em?
another weird part is that, like they didn't know anything about the Yoju or whatever that they were fighting. However, when they killed the Hanju or Hoju or
Hanju.
whatever, yeah, Hanju, when they killed that, even the vice captain was like, now the worst part starts is the swarm. How do you know it's going to swarm, but you don't know like where the core is at of the
Correct.
like,
That
it's just
But-
just another a thing. It's just a thing that's just like you should. This is a thing you should be.
I got him
on top of.
started, right? It's like it's entertaining,
You
but
can't stop.
there's entertaining, but there's all these drops in logic. Like, what the fuck are we doing here? I mean, honestly, it's you're not wrong. Like, you'd expect, like, if you've been fighting these things for centuries, right? And let's say there's just different evolutions of them. Like, I would have a research member out on the field, right? I assume like your
Yeah.
scanning technology is going to be fucking like amazing because you're able to actually tell what level of strength this kaiju's at. So why wouldn't it make sense for you to be able to identify weak points? Like, don't you have something that scans in their bodies because I know their
Yeah.
anatomy's all fucking out of whack, but essentially, like, why are we relying on the new guy to
Oh.
figure out where the fucking weakness is, man? No
I
one
have
think that's
two-
weird?
He needs
have-
his redeeming quality.
I have
Yeah.
two more. I have two more complaints. So in the exam or in the test area when they were doing the live firing, and no one could figure out where the weak spots were.
Yeah.
And the cleaner, obviously, he knew because he spent very many years like dissecting them or whatever. A lot of these people went to college to
Yeah.
neutralize these enemies. There's no way they don't have a basic anatomy of at least some of these. Of some of these.
I love how like the vice captain's like he's like, you know what, he's like Soshiro's like, you know what, guys, like, good job, like someone was paying attention in class. I'm like, what about the other motherfuckers? Are we passing people on like fucking practical application alone and not like aptitude? Like, what are we doing here, dude? Like, you don't have like general intelligence officers in the field with you, right? That doesn't that yes.
Right.
What's the second complaint, Brad?
What was the second one? I don't remember. Oh, so it was the suit.
Mm.
So the fact that the suit responds to the wearer. Why are they not testing everyone in Japan just to see just seeing what their like native percentage is at?
So that's a good point. Chibi, didn't they do that in My Hero Academia, like, where they could tell everyone's quirk and stuff like that? Like they when they were
I'm trying to
younger.
make sure Katsu doesn't fall. I think they did something like that. That's why we knew that
Deku didn't have a
Midori,
quirk. Yeah.
he didn't have a quirk.
Yeah, that I was like, that would be like the first thing you would do, right? If you start seeing people pop up with superpowers, I'm like, bring them fucking in. Let's talk to them. Let's see.
Yeah.
Just like
What can you
That's
do?
what you
I
have to
can
do at
I
birth.
can lift a coin up with my hand. That's a useless ass power. Get the you can go hustle in the street, my guy. Like, get the fuck out of here.
But I thought that was like when they did all the percentages, and I was like, oh, so just people just have random, like randomly assigned percentages that they can use.
Yeah, you just
Why are they not just
so hold on. We're applying, right? And most likely, if you're prior military, I mean, you're probably going to be a shoe-in, right? Because there's got to be some type of
Right.
latent ability or something. Maybe that's just an assumption.
Well,
If you're a
yeah,
special forces, I would say absolutely you'd have like some type of latent ability. But it is kind of weird that like you have God knows how long in terms of like the history. I'm pretty sure the government of Japan has been well aware of kaijus, right? Soshiro's family is very familiar because he comes from a long line of like kaiju hunters. So my question is, at what point in time did we say, hey, let's get coordinated? Like maybe they were just fucking around and thinking like, well, we can just kind of like push the kaiju out to sea. Just like, hey, little buddy, here you go. He's gonna sleep. We have a little island for you. You could sleep on or some shit. And then eventually they just got violent or they evolved or something. It is kind of weird that there's like a ton of things that like you would think you would have all these fail safes in place. Like absolutely. I'm assuming that they have like trackers. They obviously have like ratings for each of the kaiju to like identify who's the strongest, who's not. But I would also be kind of curious and be like, listen, because this threat has clearly escalated, we're holding like a fucking draft. So bring your kids. All right, we'll make it. We'll make a day of it, right? We'll get some blood drawn. They'll get some orange slices. We want to see who here has ability, and then we'll pull the Spartan program from Halo, in which I kidnap you at birth, I clone you, and then I swap you. And therefore, we then work from there, and I create this massive super soldier. Because, I mean, as it currently stands, just, maybe you can hold your own against someone like Kafka, who is human, but with someone who is not, like Kaiju number 9, if they evolve, which I'm assuming they will, because he's sentient and he will find a way, right? Because he was studying like the anatomy of his own kaiju, and he knew how to create like implant
Clones
them,
and all
yeah,
that,
create
yeah.
clones, and he had an idea of like he set up the Hanju, right? We could all agree with that.
Yep.
If that character could do that, right, then you should be locking the fuck in right now, or everyone is going to die. Because if you didn't have Kafka, everyone is dead.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, like we're talking like 100% casualty rate, especially because that one kaiju is smart enough to, it's pretty much like this evil genius, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always that one question, like what happens if like that one character who's OP just happens to fucking snap and turn on, go to the other side.
Yeah.
Well, you're seeing it right
That's it
now.
right there,
It just
yeah.
happens to be, somewhat convenient that you have Kafka, who's the strongest kaiju physically that we've seen. Like he's a smart dude too, but like it's clear that also he's unrefined in his attacks, right? He's just kind of swinging. Right? I'm assuming he took like some basic close quarters combat courses, but he's probably not nowhere near as proficient as like Soshiro or other characters. So I would like I kind of know some of the answers of like how they battle more powerful kaiju, but when Brad eventually sees it, I cannot wait to like talk to him and be like, well, so what do you think about this? Because you might be frustrated. Chief knows what I'm talking about, but Brad's gonna be like, well, hold on here. Like, why isn't
they have
this
a
kind of
special
applied?
apple juice, don't they?
And special apple juice. They got Michael Jordan's secret water. His special water. Jack, like, what do you give me a theory about where the show goes next? Like, what do you want to see?
I was just thinking about that while we were talking.
Well, Brad was going off the rails with me.
I feel like I don't know what I want to see, but I feel like we will definitely see a conflict with Kafka and Mina. I don't think they're just gonna get together and be friends. I think there's gonna be a major
They become
conflict
more than
between them
friends.
before that. Yeah, right.
Best friends.
Best friend, dude.
I don't know. I have a feeling that Ichikawa, he's not gonna be one to survive the whole thing.
Hey, you want him to die?
I don't
Yeah, he
want him to
does.
die.
I don't-
I just
Stop
have.
speaking it into existence.
It's gonna
I
happen.
don't want him to
eventually.
die, but it's. I feel like with the type of character he is,
He's
his
friends
job.
with Kafka, so
His job is to protect Kafka and make sure that he doesn't change when he's not supposed to. Um, but I have a feeling that once that's no longer needed, I don't think they're gonna. I think they'll end up killing his character off.
Damn, bro. So-
I
Here's the thing, like the way you gotta look at anime logic is that it's not like American television shows. It's not like even like Korean television shows where like if you have a character that's close to the main character, eventually that character gets killed off. There's a show called Person of Interest. I don't know if everyone's heard of it. I love that show, and they actually killed one of the.
I've heard of it.
They killed one of the main cast off, and people were like stunned because it like was there was no build up, there was no like death flag. It just like happened. People were like, "What the fuck?" I don't think in anime like the creators think like that primarily because if it's a fan favorite, you generally want to keep them alive because you also know that it's probably what's keeping people invested in your show. You know, because if the thing is like people with shonen are more attached to characters than they are to the plot themselves, and that's like a really big thing. So like if they were to kill Reno, who I think is really popular right now, like it would probably result in the show taking a hit. You know what I mean? So I don't think they were gonna. If they did that,
no.
to me
Yeah,
and you,
right.
it would be a
It'd
great
bad
swerve,
time. Right.
right?
Right.
And like TV and writing and books and stuff like that, we call that character development.
Yeah.
If I have to, who do I have to sacrifice? Like we
Yeah.
bring out your wheel, Jack. We're like, we'll spin the wheel. Like, who is it today?
Yeah.
Ah, Reno, you gotta go, buddy. We'll
And
make sure
I
it's
think they're gonna
heroic.
do it. Right. I don't think it's gonna be anytime like soon.
You think
I
you think eventually, and like as
I
the
think
as it progresses,
yeah.
potentially, yeah.
he's the one that becomes the villain.
Oh yeah, he becomes
He actually
he becomes
That
the
would be
leader.
wild if he becomes like
He
an
gets-
evil
Kaiju number 13.
kaiju. Yeah, right.
And
He's Kaiju X. Like what? What was that? Don't ever do that shit. Back, so like when Chibi did that, dude, I keep thinking about like when Xbox used to have like their E3 showcases, and they used to have like plants in the crowd who would be like, "Nope, X." That was basically what they did. I was like, "Holy shit! How much you? Yeah, that was Brad.
Brad was playing.
They just showed up. Do you like Xbox? Like, I do. It's like we're gonna pay you $1,000. $1,000? Like the whole fucking show. I mean that would be a great twist if like Reno became the bad guy, or at least got taken over, became a kaiju, right? That'd be interesting. Brad, what do you,
Yeah.
Brad, what do you want to see besides less drops in logic?
I need everyone to get smarter. That's what I want to happen.
Why the fuck? Why does she have glasses if she doesn't know what the fuck she's doing?
Where's your intelligence?
You're a scientist? No, you aren't.
So kind of what I expect is he gets found out by more people,
Mhm.
right? Like I feel like some more people kind of figure out who he is or what he's about. I don't know, but what happens after that, I'm not sure. I don't know if he becomes like a special project for the defense. Oh, by the way, every time every time they'd say the Japanese Defense Force or whatever, I just immediately think of the Earth Defense Force games, and in their next game, they're missing a huge opportunity if they don't have like the Kaiju edition of the game.
Oh my god.
But
I mean, who knows? This might get so popular, which it already is. It's one of the most popular adaptations,
Right.
and that it just happens that they're like Earth Defense Force, like we're gonna throw in the kaijus, like
Instead of
Kaiju number
ants.
9.
But I don't know if he like stays on or if they kind of like he gets outcasted because who he is, and or if he just becomes hunted after it. I'm not sure. I don't know if I really hope that pink hair dude
Haru.
yeah Iharu. I really hope he gets better with his ammo.
Oh,
because he's swapping the every time.
fucking reload, soldier! Like, what are you doing? Right? We stack that bad boy. Here's how you
Welcome
do it.
to
You pull out,
amateur
you pull
hour.
out the bag, slap that shit on your helmet. It's like, is it loaded? Pop that in. Fast reload. Rack it back. Start firing downrange.
Shit, I'm taking notes.
Listen, here's a note for you guys. Preventive medicine in the military is rounds downrange. Okay? If you kill the enemy, you don't get hurt yourself, so I don't have to come save you. That's essentially
Lead
what
on
that
heads.
means. Exactly. Lead on heads. Napalm
Ah.
sticks to kids.
Oh, I didn't say all that.
Listen, that was the cadence we sang.
Oh,
Chibi, what do you want? Well, oh wait, Brad. Oh shit, Brad's like beside them getting smarter, like and having better weapon.
I do expect him to kind of evolve, like his physical being as a kaiju gets more aggressive looking, or like bigger or stronger, or I don't know.
Where he looks more monstrous and stuff like that.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah,
cool.
I do see him like really evolving. I don't know if he like absorbs, kaiju number 9 at some point where he just like eats the thing again.
Can you imagine they have like a moment where like it's molting, it's just like a bigger version of him. It's like, what's going on, bro? So like, how did you get the, what's going on here? It's like lifting. Like lifting what, dude?
Also, the first time, so in the hospital when he first transformed, and Ishikawa was like, maybe you should try to smiling, and he goes, "Bah," and like his tongue. I was like, this is definitely just the symbiote. That's all it is.
This guy.
Like it's just
this dude's Venom.
Another,
yeah, right.
We are hungry.
And I'm also expecting kaiju number 8 to like at some point acknowledge Kafka or something, right? Because at the very beginning he was like, I finally found you, right? And then I would imagine there is some type of
I love the fact. Well, he left and he was.
interaction.
I love the fact he left and he was like, "Now I know how to kill you," and he like dipped out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was like, what was the meme? It was like the Sailor Moon meme where the guy's like, it was a tuxedo mask. He's like, I was like, we've done it. She's like, but you didn't do anything. Exactly, just leaves and shit like that. I mean, because essentially he got his ass beat the moment he showed up. He's like, I got to defend myself. He's like, I have to retreat. I'm like, there's no place to retreat to.
It's like, I am in danger.
I am in danger. Yeah, I love that.
I'm in danger.
The simplicity of it, right? But he's like this brilliant mastermind. Chibi, what do you want to, have? What's next, right? We kind of understand, but like, what do you want to see? Like,
I can't say it.
what are you excited for? I know what I'm excited for. I like my whole thing is like I just want to see what happens when Kafka goes up against not just like a more skilled opponent, but someone who's as strong as him.
I guess I would say the same thing.
Which is
without
what
spoiling anything.
which is what I'm hoping the show ends up on, which I think it will.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna agree with you there and kind of leave it at that because I don't want to say anything.
Because here's the thing, right?
Because of my memory.
Because the thing is, if it does end at 12 episodes this season, and you're not gonna get something until next season, that makes sense because there's only 100 chapters, and I think they've done almost 30.
Yeah.
I think. So if they ran a second season, it would be almost damn near the entire thing, and they'll probably
have to pull a Black Clover.
Pull a Black Clover, pull a JJK where they fucking showed Hidden Inventory, and the prequel film show Demon Slayer where you just have like weird arc structure where it's like let's have a film, then let's have the entertainment district, but the first 4 episodes were the film.
So stupid.
And then let's milk this bad bitch for as long as because the Hashira trainer is not supposed to be at 8 episodes. Like I don't know how they're doing it, but no, it's just this is one of those shows where I'm like I think it's just solid all around. Like there are, as Brad puts out, like there are like flaws in the logic, right?
I feel like there's like you could argue about that every anime.
No, but this one, like it's clear that like when you look at the world and how they built it, it's kind of like, man, you'd expect these people to be like head on the swivel. They understand the threats because of how efficient they were killing the first kaiju. So like when you see how well ran they are, and then you then kind of get to see them, the different guys going through the different phases. You're like, okay, maybe they're not as well ran as we thought. They're not as well organized. What you got, Brett?
Also, in that that first kaiju encounter, when it comes out of the water and like destroys the bridge that it goes through, those people definitely got hurt. I don't know if they
No,
got
they're
killed.
dead.
But
They're fucking dead.
yeah, and so then the people rappel down and shoot them, blow them up, whatever, and then everyone's just cheering at the end. I'm like, what the crap? They're having a parade where a bunch of people just died.
Woo! Like, that's what I'm talking about, baby. It's like, hey, it's like in other news, in addition, 250 people also died. But hey, you get free space in Tokyo now. Like, let's go. And they killed him with like the least amount of collateral damage. Like, what is acceptable to you guys in this world? Or you do like the magical thing, like, oh no, it was like the Power Rangers off screen. Like, yeah, they destroyed half the city, but dude, they beat fucking, they beat her. Like, we win. That was like my main beef as a kid. I knew like things were wrong with me. Like I thought too much about it when I was a kid. I was like, so hold on. They transform to fight the big monster. They destroy half the city. How does the city get fixed the next episode? What's Zordon's real power here? Like, can he stop?
Yeah, I definitely was the kids that were just like, yeah, not defeated.
Because my dad walked out. He's like, damn. He's like, well, they destroyed the city. I was like, he's like, and he'd go, they're all dead now. And then he just walked off. Oh, like shit.
It was a national holiday and everyone was on vacation somewhere else. So.
This happened. Everyone was at the beach. Because it's
really
kind of like
when they come back home, but
my house is gone. Oh well, dude. I'm telling you, like it'd be so funny if they kind of. I want like just a side anime for Kaiju number 8 to talk about like how they like have insurance claims and shit like that. It's like, dude, okay, listen. I know that the kaiju destroyed your home, but when you signed the contract to live here, you knew what the risks were.
Yeah, right.
It's like, hold on. It's like we can't.
Like a better call version of
we had checks show up as the boss. It's like we can't keep cutting these checks.
You didn't get the optional kaiju insurance.
I don't.
Yeah, right.
Like remember, there's two types of insurance.
Like living next to a golf course.
Yeah. There's the basic insurance, which covers about 200,000, right? And then there's the premium, which will cover everything in your home. And unfortunately, that kaiju did not just decimate your home, but the entire building and street next to it. So, whoopsie.
That's an act of God.
Yeah, it's an act of God. This is what we call in contract terms force majeure. So pretty much you can't do. It's an act of God. Unfortunate, man. We can't break contract with you. That'd be terrible, dude.
I would cry.
That would be so funny to be like insured. Like they just did an anime. It's a side guy doing all the claims and shit like that. He's like, man, people are pissed. He's like, hey, we got good business today. Kaiju just destroyed Sector 6, dude. Let's fucking go, guys.
You know what though? Expand that to everything else.
Yeah, dude.
Like, not just kaiju, but like JJK.
They by the way, they do that. I think in One Punch Man, they bring that up all the time. How like certain parts of like city get destroyed, and then they'll talk about like how do we rebuild this. I'm like, I don't fucking know, dude. You just had a monster, a dragon level threat, just decimate the entire building. But that's what I want to say to the anime series. Just sitting there like, oh shit, dude. Did Sukuna just fucking destroy half the city? Fuck, man, again?
Again?
We just built that block, dude.
Paycheck,
you know what? Though, that would be some really good comedy.
Like what? Like who? Like what main character died? We'll just name that part of the city after him, dude. Like, damn it! Freaking out. Walking into work like, oh, dude. Have you got? I don't know, man. There's so many memes when Godzilla Kong came out because people were like, when you watch those films. Damn well when they destroy half of Singapore, you're like, holy shit. People are like, dude, they're like, man, I'm going into work. I had a really bad day, but then you hear Godzilla lining up. You're like, wait for it to destroy. Like, hey, listen, I'm either going to work tomorrow or I'm not going in at all, bro. You're like, you like show up like, how the fuck come every time the kaiju show up, it don't destroy my workplace? Like, what's going on? Like, how fair is that shit? Brad works from home now. I still gotta go in. That's unfortunate.
Where's
That's
my remote job?
Dude, the moment the kaiju attacks, I'm like, how do we create like a fucking kaiju cleanup crew? Like, what do I need? Like, let me be the first to dive into this kind of cleanup because I know I'm making like millions of dollars off government contracts. The government's not gonna do it themselves, or Or
That's a lot.
or if it's in the military, we would just make all the E3s and below do it. And so, all right, boys, listen up. Get your mops, get your brooms. All right, get your kits on. We got to get in there. We got to start scrubbing. Where are my junior E2s at? You guys got intestine duty. Get your ass in there.
Bro.
That would have actually been a great part of the show when when they all get promoted or whatever, they get accepted, and he shows up and he's the only cadet. It'd been funny if like your first duty is cleanup duty.
Yeah.
He's like, nah.
I just left that
Can't
job.
escape.
It's like cleanup duty, like latrine stuff, like the bathrooms. No. Kaiju clean them. Get your ass in there. I need a runner.
Oh God.
Oh shit. Okay, so I think we talked about Kaiju 9 or Kaiju number 9 or number 8. No,
Ow.
so
Kaiju
I-
number 9.
I'm tripping.
9.
I'm tripping.
9.
I'm tired. So, what's next? Who's next? Talk about the enemies. Is it Brad or is it Jack?
Look at that man's
I
face.
feel like
you
I
know
just-
it's him.
It's Brad. So, Brad, what do you got? We said last week on Pixelate Thoughts that we would have Brad bring his recommendations, and then we would come to a vote.
Oh no, what
Just
were
his
the
little
other
happy
ones?
dance.
Okay.
What was the other ones? Oh God. All right. So my first recommendation is Uncle from Another World
Okay.
on Netflix.
I don't know that one.
Oh, Netflix.
That one's
Um,
pretty funny. It's kind of
yeah.
it's a unique take on
It's
this guy.
weird. Yeah, it's weird. But it's funny. I started it. I haven't watched a whole lot of
A
it.
lot of good '90s references and stuff like that.
Wait, let me pull up the other ones. I don't even remember. No.
I was kind of surprised. I was like, I thought you said you had 3.
Yeah. So one was a joke, right? The ghost stories.
We're not doing that. Like we'd have to censor half the fucking episode. 1, we'd have to censor everything. 2, what I'm gonna do is that after this, when we get off, I'm gonna have Jack YouTube Ghost Stories anime and just watch part of the dub. You'll see like the highlights of it. You will see what me and Brad are talking about and why we cannot talk about
It's on
that.
Crunchyroll, and it's that version.
It's on that version.
Yeah.
We'll have. You know what to picture.
The Wrong Way to Use Healing Magic.
Okay.
It was solid. I actually watched it all.
I love how Brad has gotten into anime.
Exactly. This was the whole
Unfortunately.
point.
We've won.
I don't
Chibi.
Hope we
enjoy
said too,
any
it's
of
okay.
it. But I
We've
haven't
we've
watched
won,
it all.
Chibi. We've won.
We've won.
We've
We can
won.
stop this podcast now.
Reborn as a Vending Machine.
Okay, so we have 3 so far, right?
Yeah, and then Campfire Cooking is Another World with My Absurd Skill.
Right.
I started
Campfire
watching
Cooking
that
in
one.
Another World with my. This is actually a bunch of recommendations from a coworker of mine.
Okay.
So I'll stop there.
Okay.
I have a few more, but
All right. So let's take a vote on the
I don't know half
Uncle
of
from
these.
Another World.
yes.
So the Uncle from Another World is like
Yeah, give me like a synopsis.
it's like an isekai. Pretty much this young man, his uncle just like randomly returns after being missing for a number of years, and the stories that he tells him are like crazy, but they're actually true, and you get to see a lot of really funny flashbacks and a lot of really cool like overpowered action. It is like kind of awkward at times, but I thought it was pretty funny. I've watched like a couple
Okay.
episodes.
Okay.
Okay, so let's take a vote on that one. I'll give that one a thumbs up. I'll give that one a thumbs up. Jack's looking
That's
it up
my
right now.
recommendation. He's like, I don't even like uncles.
What's an uncle?
I have no.
Like
I was gonna
comedy,
say
I like-
something fucked up.
I like a good comedy. I'll thumbs it up.
All right.
Yay.
So I mean, do we want to do the vending machine? That's a thumbs up. I'm not doing that shit. I'll watch that on my. I couldn't do it. I was like, this is fucking too ridiculous of a premise.
It's very ridiculous. I watched a few episodes.
The
It's
healer
funny,
one,
but it's ridiculous.
the healing magic one, that one's really cool
Yeah, actually, really.
because
like
it
that
really
one.
it's once again another isekai, or it's more like a fantasy, and then you get to see like a healing character. It's like it's very, I would say, traditional, but well animated, a lot of humorous moments. Pretty fun. Has good high rating, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a character that's not supposed to be the main character, but kind of becomes the
Yeah.
main character.
Pretty good.
but the beginning's really funny.
So we can just do the uncle. We'll do that one.
Yeah.
All right. So that would be, what's the total title again? It's Uncle from Another World or whatever it is.
Correct. Yes.
Yes.
And you said it's on Netflix.
It's on the
It's on
Netflix. Okay.
On Netflix.
Also, big news: Sakamoto Days is getting its anime adaptation, and I'm fucking super excited about that. It's coming out January
What does that
20.
mean?
Sakamoto Days is essentially think John Wick, or think I think John Wick, Wanted, that type of stuff. Like probably one of the best action mangas out there right now. Features like crazy. One of the best characters in Sakamoto, and it features just a lot of really cool OP fight scenes. And Brad, you will love that one because they pretty much have like all these really overpowered super assassins living in a normal world, and civilians just act normally around them. Like there's just like, that shit happens. It's a normal day, dude. He just kicked off a fucking bus, like whatever, that type of stuff. So super excited about that. Pixelated Thoughts next episode is going to be Arcane. So
Arcane.
and then we'll discuss.
I'm gonna have to rewatch the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess I gotta go back.
Is there multiple seasons?
10 episodes.
No, just one.
It's
10
I
episodes?
think season 2 is coming out this year though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
And,
they hour-long episodes?
I think they're like 30 to 40 minutes probably.
Okay.
they're pretty long,
They are. It is essentially
but it's good.
one of the best like shows I think I've watched in a long time. Like it's animation. Jack, when you see it, it might be
It's
the,
so good.
it might be the, it was the it really surprised me, one, the quality of it, because it looks just like fucking a moving painting. It's so good. All right, so after Brad, it's gonna be Jack. Now, Jack, if you do you want
I
to?
got skipped.
I thought
Yeah,
we no we
Chibi
go.
hasn't chosen.
I thought we go Brad, Jack, then you, because then I'm after you. Right? That's usually how we did it.
Who did the?
I chose the undead one.
Oh, okay. So then it's Chibi next.
Yes.
I was gonna say motherfucker.
Yeah, jeez.
I gotta cook on mine. I don't know. I might do the same thing where I give you guys a couple options.
Yeah. Completely.
You know which one I want to do, but I feel like you
Parasite it
guys
is.
won't like it.
What did you say? What did you say, Brad? What did you say?
What do you
I
say?
didn't say anything.
Wait, which one do you want to do, Chibi? Which one?
Season 1 of Haikyuu.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah.
Since the movie's coming out.
Oh, I saw that. What was the title of the movie? It's like garbage something. It was it's like an obscure title.
Well, it's like the final thing, right? The final hurrah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I mean,
No, I don't know the name of it, but I know it's like one of the final things.
so if you don't know what Haikyuu is a sports anime,
Which I usually
volleyball.
don't like. I just want to say that.
It's highly rated. I mean,
It's so good.
I will give. Oh, relax, okay?
so
God
good.
damn, she gets
It's
so
good.
defensive, right? Okay, and then after Chibi, we'll go to Jack, and Jack will, he'll give us 3 shots.
Oh,
I believe in you, Jack.
Parasite.
I have
Jack's
four
gonna-
that- I have
Jack's
four
gonna-
that I'm looking at right
Listen,
now.
I have faith that Jack is gonna nail it. He's gonna come up with an anime that, one, he's watched and not just like made up a name for. And he's gonna be like, listen, guys, this one's gonna blow your mind. Even if we've seen it but we haven't talked about it, that's cool too, because I'm cool with rewatching stuff. So just pointing that out, right? So Pixelate Thoughts Arcane. Down the Rabbit Hole is Uncle from Another World, and then after that, I'll probably figure out the next video game adaptation to watch. I'll probably talk to Brad or something about it, like see what we can come up with. All right. Anything else anybody wants to talk about? Bring up, any anime people are looking forward to next.
I need to watch Demon Slayer.
Yeah,
I
I
was
need to
gonna
watch
say
Mashal
yeah.
season 2. I need to
Mhm.
watch Solo Leveling.
I think eventually. I thought we were going to talk about that too. I thought Brad was going to bring that up. Solo Living.
Have
Solo
we not
Leveling.
talked about it?
No,
Honestly, I
haven't.
thought we talked about it.
No.
So I
thought
don't
we
no.
did.
We had
We
a
brought it up
we brought it up,
because-
and then
yeah.
it's like we talked around Jack when it happened. It's like me and Chibi
Oh,
talked about.
I mean, I could bring up that one.
Me and Chibi
Oh.
talked about
No.
it, and then we were pretty much talking around Jack because he was like something. He's like,
Oh, I
"You guys
forgot.
have
Brad-
spoiled it for me."
Bro, Brad deadass DM'd me and said this shit sucks.
He told me that too. That was funny.
And I was
All right,
like,
so
No,
look,
actually,
here's
really-
here's what I'm
actually
gonna say, Jack. You will fucking love Solo Leveling, or
Okay.
or you will be disappointed. Not because of the combat stuff, but because of like some other
Story.
things. Yeah.
Yeah.
To me,
Okay.
I told Chibi, I was like, if this had been adapted earlier, like I thought it was
Yeah.
going to be, if it took so long too for it to actually come out, I think I would have probably been more invested and interested because far too many manhwas. I think Solo Leveling was the reason why so many have fallen into the same category now, right? I'm assuming they're all almost like power scaling, and it's always like that one character who eventually becomes uber fucking powerful. And you know, my whole thought process is if that character is unkillable, it just kind of becomes
But
uninteresting
he's
at
not
points.
unkillable.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see. I agree with Brad on this one.
I mean,
Ken, I think you're crazy.
it's hard to say that though, because like just the way like it comes off, like when it like you have certain scenes where it's like I'm telling you, the first episode, that one was great, and then like as the more I got into it, I was like, okay, this is kind of becoming.
It starts on a really good note and it ends on a really good note. There is a lull in the middle where it's just like random like side quests. It's just random things that kind of happen.
We were playing Final Fantasy 14, bro.
I love it.
It's a Realm Reborn all over again.
It builds character.
Builds character.
3 episodes of fishing.
I just think like it's somewhat predictable, but it is high animation quality. I'll give you that. Like that shit is insane. So
good. I love the opening.
If you don't like to do the thing, oh, by the way, like what everyone. That's the last thing we'll talk about in Kaiju number 8. I wasn't like a big fan of the opening.
Crazy.
Yeah,
it grew on me.
I think the ending though I actually liked.
Yeah,
like
the ending was good too.
I'm kind of starting to notice like I like a lot of endings. Like I don't know, no one's followed Delicious in Dungeon. I still follow it. Like I wasn't a fan of like the new opening for season 2 or for the second half, and I was like, then it grew on me. But like the opening, it's funny because the ending for Delicious in Dungeon is actually, it feels like it fits the tone a little better than like when you find Fallon's fucking skull and then like break into a happy song like, hey, she's dead, bro. But listen, we can vibe out a little bit. Right? So,
we can have a dance party.
That was JJK. Remember, like Yuji like rips his heart out and dies like, hey. Are you sad?
I love that ending too.
Fuck that. Let's have a good time too.
Yeah. Bro, that's like the Death Parade opening.
God, oh, dude, that opening is so fucking good. And then you're like, this is super depressing, but don't worry, you'll be happy for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Why aren't you smiling, dude? Because someone just killed themselves. And like, dude, the song's a banger, bro. It's like, Jesus Christ. I love that trend, by the way. It's my favorite trend in anime. Have a super really dark toned and then have like this really lighthearted song. It's like, dude, what are we doing here?
And you're like, why are we like this? What's going on here?
I didn't like the open.
Of what?
All of them.
All right. On that note, thanks so much for coming to the podcast.
So with Kaiju number 8, it was a little too weird for me. It got like just.
I understand that.
I really kind of felt it was more kind of Western, right?
Like yeah, because it was young.
It had a James Bond feel to it.
Yeah.
But
dude, it did. Yeah, exactly. I was like, are we? This is 007? Where's Daniel Craig? Is he coming out with the gun? Like, Jesus. Somehow Adele starts singing the fucking. The
sky.
They've made it. All right. So that's going to do it for this episode, unless someone else has something to add. Brad, do you have anything? No. Thanks for showing up, Brad. Katsu, the GOAT. We'll probably zoom in on that for the ending. This has been Down the Rabbit Hole. I want to thank Jack for looking concerned in the final raid. Jack's face like, what is that, bro?
I'm reading the synopsis for a couple different shows.
We'll talk to you next time, everybody. Thanks.